All right, let's jump straight into some minor ear tests. Now we're just going to be working with do, re, and mi. We have 20 examples coming up, and just like the majors, we're going to be working in sort of groups of 5 through the keys of A, B flat, B, C, and D minor in this case. Here's your first do, and here is your first note. I should mention the alternative would sound like this. Here's your do, and here's your first note. Quite a big difference when you consider one is a repeat and one is moving to a different destination. So we are starting on do, because here's your do, and here's your first note. It's the same note. Again, I'm going to encourage you to pause as needed as you go through this. Let's get going into the first one. So we're starting on do. It sounds like this. One more time, starting simple. Answer is do, re, mi. Next example, here's your do. Here's your first note. Can you tell where we're starting? It's the third, it's mi. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is mi, re, do. Next example. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Pattern sounds like this. We're starting on mi, by the way. One more time. Answer is mi, re, mi, do. Next up we're in C. Here's your do, here's your first note. Starting on do. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is do, re, mi, do, re, mi. Next example, starting on D. Here's your do. There's your first note. Starting on mi. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is mi, re, mi, do. There's 5 down, back down to A minor. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Here's your pattern. We're starting on do, by the way. One more time. Answer is do, 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 re, mi. Next pattern. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Can you tell where we're starting? It's mi. So here's our mi to start. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is mi, mi, re, re, do, do. 3 sets of repeats. Next is going to be B. So here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on do. It's going to sound like this. Bit of a longer example. One more time. Ready for the answer? It's do, re, mi, re, mi, do. Moving to C, here's your do, here's your first note. Starting on mi. So, here's your mi. Gonna go through it. One more time. Answer is mi, re, mi, do. Working through a lot of trilling back and forth between 2 notes. D is our next key. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Answer is do. Here's your pattern. One more time. Answer is do, do, mi, re, do. That's 10 down. We got 10 more to go. Back down to A. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on mi. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. Next do is B flat. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on do. Here's your example. more time. Answer is do, re, do, mi. We can hear that we're finishing quite a bit higher than where we started. I think at this point, even if you're gesturally getting things, like you're getting the contour the right direction, but maybe you're skipping instead of stepping, you're going 2 solfege syllables higher instead of 1, or vice versa, that's still a good sign of improvement. Catching contour, the way a melody flows, is very important in these early stages, and then you can narrow things down. I think of it sort of like a rock sculpture. If you can turn a rock into what kind of looks like a blob-like human, that's probably a good step before you start detailing eyes, mouth, and everything that makes your Michelangelo or whatever it might be. So we're going into the next one. We're in B. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on me. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is me, do, me, re, do. Next up, we're in C. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on do. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is do, do, me, re, do. D is your next do. Here it is. Here's your first note. So as you can hear, we're starting up on me. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is me, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. We have 5 more to go, back down to A as our do. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on do. Here's your pattern. One more time. Answer is do, re, do, me, re, mi. Here's your next do. Here's your first note. Starting on me. It's going to sound like this. One more time. Answer is me, do, do, re, do. Next do. First note. Starting on do. And I should mention too, when I give you that starting note, that initial do, sing it. Sing it and then sing the starting note. So sing the do that I gave you, sing the starting note. It's going to help you so much more to hear if there is a difference between those. So again, here's your do. And we're going to start you on. So there it is. We're starting on me. It's going to sound like... One more time. This time we had me, do, re, do. Next do. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Answer is we're starting on do, and here's the pattern. Longer this time. Answer is do, re, mi, re, do, re, do. Here's your last example. Here's your do. Here's your first note. Starting on do. One more time, making these longer as we go. Answer is do, 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 me, re, mi, do. Even if you got a few of those, that's fantastic. If you got all of them, congratulations, you're ready for a bigger challenge. I would say continue doing these until you start to feel more confident, and then gradually you can work up into the pentascales, and then eventually full scales. And if you find down the line that things start to get difficult at a certain stage, come back to this stage. It's very common for pianists to play below their level, at their level, and above their level. The reason we play below is to build confidence. We play at our level to check where we're at, and we play above our level to make the current level we're at feel a bit easier. It's like swinging with weight on the bat. That's how I see it anyways. I'll see you in the next class.